Good evening and welcome to the latest edition of the London Football Show Live. Well, what a week it's been for our London clubs, with one of our London clubs on the receiving end of potentially the biggest FA Cup shock we've ever seen. We had another London club who scored 7 second-half goals. So, joining me tonight, as always, is Sports Tonight panellist and all-round football expert, Kenny Ken. How are you doing, Kenny?
Good evening, Yusuf. Yes, you're right. It's been a fantastic weekend. We've had shocks. We've had an all-London Carling Cup final. We had Arsenal winning again. We've had Brentford doing fantastic at the weekend at the Carrow Road. We've got great material for the show, I think.
Good stuff. So don't forget, if you want to get involved, you can send us a tweet. It's at LFS_live. So with transfer deadline day fast approaching, we've got a special guest joining us a little bit later on to talk about some of the potential London transfers and the transfers that have already been. So join us for that a bit later. But we'll start, as always, with our ups and downs of the week that's been. We'll start with our player of the week. And a few contenders here. Kenny?
I don't know. I don't know if we're going to agree on something. I think normally we don't agree on anything.
We generally don't. But
don't agree. I get the impression you think I favour certain players in certain clubs.
I think you favour Arsenal and nobody else.
Nah, come on, that's an outrage. Come on, you can't say that.
I think you're yet to announce a Chelsea player as player of the week.
Really? Oh, that is so out of order for me.
I can't see them getting it this week with their performance last Saturday.
Well, I think that I should be the judge of that, don't you think?
Well, let's crack on. Who are we going to start with, Kenny? What about Eriksen of Spurs?
Well, Eriksen, yesterday at Bramall Lane, he had a fantastic game. He was the difference between Spurs going to Wembley and Spurs going out of the competition. So, again, he's their go-to man. He's like their match winner.
He does love scoring in the 88th minute, doesn't he?
Well, like I said, football's a 90-minute game. And I think towards the end of certain matches, certain players and certain teams switch off. This guy is always trying to do something. He's always trying to create a chance. If something doesn't come off, his head never goes down. He's always at it. He's always trying to win a match for Spurs. He's not like one of those, chest out, thumping players. He's like silk. You know what I mean? He's like a velvety sort of player, but he's a very creative player.
And a cracking free kick as well to boot.
I mean, how many of them have we seen this season?
We have. Well, we'll talk about that in goal of the week. Who else, Kenny? Rosicky of Arsenal?
Well, Rosicky had a fantastic game. He was Arsenal's captain at the weekend at Brighton. I think he led from the front. I mean, his all-round performance was flawless, absolutely flawless.
They made that game a bit difficult for themselves, though, to be fair.
Well, you look at it's a cup game, isn't it? Brighton had nothing to lose. They were 2-0 down. The first goal in the second half, decides the game. If Brighton get that goal, Arsenal holding on. If Arsenal make it 3-0, it's game over. So you look at the situation during that game, it was what the FA Cup's all about. Especially with Brighton at home when they've got 30,000 fans. Chris Hughton would have given their players a rocket at half-time. And
then, obviously, we'll get on to Pritchard as well of Brentford. He had a very good game, scored the winning goal.
He's had a fantastic season. Players like him and Andre Gray are fine. And, his performance, obviously he's getting a winning penalty, but his performance at the Carrow Road was fantastic because, Norwich are no mugs. And especially at home, and they had a very good result a couple of weeks ago at Dean Court. So if you look at the situation, that is a very difficult game. But it's what games like, if Brentford want to get promoted, that's the sort of game they should be winning.
So I think, though, we've named those players, they had cracking games, but I think there's one player this week that stands out.
Absolutely.
And I think it's got to be the hands-down winner of Player of the Week. I think we can actually agree on this.
Yes, I definitely going to agree with you. I think Ighalo, what a performance. And what performance by Watford. 2-0 down, albeit against one of the worst sides I've ever seen in Championship history, but 2-0 down and 7 second-half goals.
Amazing. And Ighalo got 4 of those goals. And I think that, hands down, makes him the Player of the Week. So well done, Ighalo.
I think I agree with you on that one for once. Yes, for once, definitely Player of the Week.
Great stuff. So we'll move on now to Goalkeeper of the Week. There were goals flying in all over the show. What are the contenders here, Kenny?
Well, the players I'm looking at, you can't go any further than Button, Courtois, Everidge and Bettinelli. I'm going to start with Button. I mean, again, we're talking about Norwich having a very strong side. You've got players like Johnson, like Cameron Jerome, who are great strikers of the ball. And there was one time when Johnson's hit a 30 yards off the bar. The keeper's got virtually no time to react. All of a sudden, I think it was Jerome came in with a volley, and out of nowhere he's made a fantastic save. But that wasn't the only save. He commanded his area, he made some really crucial saves. And it was games like that where your goalkeeper has to win your matches. It wasn't.
He's done that a few times for Brentford this season. He's really shown himself as a top keeper in the Championship.
I don't think they'll be able to hold on to him too long, I think.
Well, at the rate they're going, they could be a Premier League team next season, so he may stay.
He may stay. Then obviously we've got filled by Courtois. Now, you look at the game against Liverpool on Tuesday, crucial saves in the first half. Absolutely crucial. Saves he had no right to make.
Across both legs, he was amazing.
Absolutely.
Liverpool had over 30-odd shots and scored one across the 2 games.
Especially against Chelsea. You don't really have that many chances against Chelsea, especially shots and goal, and so many clear-cut chances. And I think he's another contender. Then we've got Everidge, again at the Molineux at the weekend. Charlton are struggling a bit. The first game for Guy Lusson as manager, got his work permit finally. And, you know, clean sheet and commanded his area and made some crucial saves.
Now, you know I'm going to give a special shout to Bettinelli of Fulham. A great performance at the Stadium of Light.
You know what? You're in luck. I actually watched the game, and as I watch every match, and I looked at that, and I have to admit, there was a case. It's not a strong case as my other 3 contenders, but there is a case to a certain extent, although Sunderland did have most of the ball, but the best chance actually fell to Fulham.
It did, with Rodallega hitting the post. But in terms of the saves Bettinelli made, he made a great save off Jermaine Defoe.
Absolutely.
A shot that came through. Defoe flicked it. On any other day it goes in, but Bettinelli got down quickly, sharply. Great goalkeeper.
He was that. And he is a contender. However, football matches are about context and context for the season. And in terms of the context of the game and context of the season, I've got to go for Button of Brentford, because that is the game which could decide whether Brentford get automatic promotion or get in the playoffs or not get there at all.
Well, it's not the first time we give it to David Button of Brentford, but well done, David Button. That's goalkeeper of the week. So we'll move on to our goal of the week and some cracking goals. What stuck out for you, Ken?
Well, I've chosen five different goals, all sorts of different goals. I looked at the first goal by Huta of Brentford. It's like one of those goals where he basically hits a shot where it's come from. The cross is coming from the left, and he's hit it back where it came from. We're leaving Norwich to goalkeeper no chance. So it was a great finish. And then Eriksen's free kick at Bramall Lane. Oh my God! I mean, I've seen many of them, but in the context of the game, to have that definitive skill, getting a spin, getting over the wall, that was a cracker. And then we got Ramirez. Even though Chelsea lost the game, their second goal was a work of art. And it's one of those things that you don't associate with Chelsea Football Club, you know, into passing and movement. And it was like watching Arsenal and Barcelona. That goal was like watching Arsenal and Barcelona.
Well, speaking of Arsenal, it was a great goal from Thomas Rosicky.
Absolutely. And you know what? It was made and scored and created by the player himself. He gave the ice to Walcott. Walcott's put a nice little cross. He's outside the box. Boom. Bang. Volley in the corner. 3-1. Game over.
They did cap a fine performance.
It absolutely capped a fine performance. But it doesn't mean he'll get my goal of the week, though.
So who's it going to be, Kenny?
I have to go for Eriksen's free kick.
Eriksen. Well done. Great free kick, great goal. Eriksen, goal of the week. So we'll talk quickly now about the team of the week. Running out of time here, Kenny, so I'm going to have to speed you through this one. I've got
Brentford,
contenders.
Watford and Crystal Palace. Watford, hands down, 7 goals in the second half, 2-0 down. Great performance. London team of the week, Watford Football Club.
Definitely, I think we both agree on that one as well. And then wooden spoon of the week. There's a couple of contenders.
I've got a few contenders. I've got Diego Costa, because what I'm trying to say, he didn't get sent off, but if the referee sees that, he gets sent off. Chelsea don't go Wembley.
Well, the referee said after the game that had he had seen it, he would have dismissed him. So he is now facing a violent conduct charge.
Exactly.
He's appealed it.
Yes.
But they'll find out the outcome tomorrow.
Well, you've got a team that's trying to win.
He's not going to be successful in the appeal.
He's not going to be successful because he's blatantly did it twice.
He did do it twice.
3-match ban in an important part of the season, an important game.
Missing potentially the title decider.
Exactly. And we've got Michel Vorm. Second goal, Leicester. Goal by Schlopp. I'm not having that. He gets the ball spins out of his hands, the ball shouldn't spin around. He needs to smother the ball and get his whole body behind it. And then it's Nelson again. What can I say? Luckily, it didn't cost him anything. It cost Millwall the points. against Reading. But again,
he was sent off before half-time for Millwall.
It was before half-time, but they're hanging on.
And in only his 5th performance
Exactly.
for the club, so it was really poor from
Exactly.
him to be sent off. And I don't know if you've seen the challenge, but a ridiculous
I saw
tackle in his own half as well. And he knew he was going to get sent off. As soon as the tackle's gone in, he's already heading down the tunnel.
Yeah, and he knows spots a brawl as well.
He does.
Yeah.
So who is it going to be for you, Kenny?
Well, in the context of the season and what it can cost Chelsea, especially with their 5-point lead, we can go that 2 points. Diego Costa for me, because he's cost his club.
Dirty Costa, wooden spoon of the week, and potentially could have cost your side the Premier League title. Only time will tell. So join us after the break, where we're going to take a closer look at how our London clubs fared in their respective games over the weekend.
Are you a special one? Have you got what it takes? It takes a lot to impress me. Get creative and upload your best football skills, trick shots and goals. Use the hashtag #SpecialOnes so I can decide if you are good enough to win a coaching session with me in London. Go to specialones.tumblr.com for all the details.